Good afternoon. So I am Catherine George B. Francisca from BSED English 3A, and this is my report about Myanmar literature or Burmese literature. So, Burmese literature has ancient roots with early forms tracing back to the Pew and Mon periods. As the Bamar people established the kingdom of Pagan in 11th century, literary forms began to flourish. Traditional Burmese literature often includes religious texts, poetry, and folklore, which have significantly influenced modern prose and poetry. So, the Myanmar people, they use the Pali language and they used it in ancient Buddhist texts because it was the dominant language of their literature until 13th century. So, with the rise of Burmese monarchy, as in Pew or Mon periods, the Burmese language became the primary language of literature. Since their literature dates back in the 11th century, they put or write their writings or literature in a stone tablet. Burmese prose is known for their simplicity, clarity, and elegance, and it is usually used to narrate historical events, myths, and also legends. So, authors before, they began to experiment with narrative forms, exploring themes of identity, nationalism, and social issues. After the military coup in 1962, writers faced censorship and had to navigate restrictions, leading to the development of subversive and underground writing. So, Burmese prose often reflects the complexities of life in Myanmar, including social changes, political struggles, and cultural traditions. So, common themes include struggle and resilience, and also many stories explore the challenges that individuals face, almost socio-political. So, another is the cultural identity. Writers, they often delve into the nuances of Burmese culture and the impact of globalization. And the human relationships, whether familial or romantic, are a common focal point in the exploration of personal narratives. And in Burmese prose, some of its language and structure is characterized by its lyrical quality and often incorporates local dialects and idiomatic expressions. The use of metaphor and allusion is prevalent, drawing from Buddhist philosophy and traditional folklore. So there are some of the notable examples of Burmese prose. Number one is the Glass Palace Chronicle by Amitav Ghosh. It is a 19th century historical account of Burma's royal dynasty. Number two is the Mahaya Zawin Chronicle by Yukala, a 16th century historical account of Burmese monarchy. Number three is the Burman, His Life and Motions by Shuayu, a classical ethnographic study. Number 4 is The River of Lost Footsteps by Tan Min. It is a historical novel. And number 5 is The Smile as They Bow by Nunuyi. It is a novel. So one of their prose is the Glass Palace by Amitav Ghosh. So it is a historical novel by an Indian author named Amitav Ghosh, and it is published in 2000. This novel explores the history of Burma and is now called Myanmar during the colonial period. Particularly, it focuses on the lives of its characters against the backdrop of major historical events. So the narrative spans several generations and begins in the late 19th century with the fall of the last Burmese king. So the Mahaya Zawin, it is also known as the Mahaya Zawin Chronicle or Mahaya Zawin. It is a historical text that serves as an important chronicle of the history of Myanmar. So this chronicle, written in the early 18th century, it outlines the history of the Burmese kings, starting from the legendary origins of Myanmar's rulers up until the time of Konbawang dynasty. So some of the several reasons of the significance of this piece is its historical record, because it provides detailed accounts of Burmese history, mythology, and the reigns of various kings, including their achievements and notable events during their rule. It also has a cultural insights, wherein this chronicle contains valuable information about the culture, customs, and socio-political aspects of life in Myanmar during the periods covered. So it has also literary importance because it is an example of the historical writing tradition in Southeast Asia. So number 2 is the Burman, or his life and notions, and it is written by Sir George Scott and is published in 1900s. This book provides an in-depth exploration of the culture, lifestyle, and social practices of the Burmese people during the late 19th and early centuries. Scott, he is a British colonial administrator and writer, spent significant time in Burma or Myanmar, and his observations reflect a combination of ethnographic study and personal experience. So the key themes and content of this book is the cultural insights, wherein Scott discusses various aspects of Burmese culture including religion, family, social norms, and traditional practices. He also delves into the role of Buddhism, which is central to Burmese identity. Number 2 is his social structure. So this book examines the hierarchy or social organization within Burmese society, reflecting on class divisions, roles of women, and the importance of community. So, and also the customs and tradition. The author explores festivals, rituals, and daily practices, providing anecdotes and detailed descriptions that highlight the richness of Burmese life. And observations on character. Scott offers his impression on the character and personality traits typical of the Burmese people, often contrasting them with Western customs and behaviors. Number 3 is The River of Lost Footsteps, a personal history of Burma. So it is a book written by Tan Minh Yu, a Burmese historian and author. It is published in 2006. The book blends personal narrative with historical analysis, offering insights into the complex history and culture of Myanmar through the author's own experiences, family history, and scholarly research. So the key themes and contents of these books are the personal narrative, which the author incorporates his own experiences growing up in Burma and his family's history, providing a unique perspective on the changes the country has undergone over the years. He reflects on his childhood, the impact of political transformations, and the struggles of a nation flux. Number 2 is the historical overview. The book provides a comprehensive overview of Burmese history, covering significant events from ancient times to present, including colonialism, the struggle for independence, military rule, and the emergence of democracy movements. Number 3 is the cultural insights. So the author explores the rich cultural heritage of Burma, including its diverse ethnic groups, languages, regions, and traditions. He examines how these factors shape the identity of the nation of its people. Number 4 is the political context. The author discusses the political history of Burma, including the British colonial period, World War II, the rise of military rule, and the ceaseless challenges facing the country, particularly in terms of human rights and development. So the number 5 is The Smile as They Bow. It is a novel by the author Nu Yi. The story is set in Myanmar and follow the lives of various characters, exploring themes of identity, culture, and the impact of political struggles on personal lives. The narrative often intertwines the personal with the political, highlighting the challenges faced by individuals in a society marked by change and conflict. Next is the Burmese poetry. So Burmese poetry, it is rich and diverse and has a long history and reflects the culture, traditions, and political landscape of Myanmar. So some of the aspects of this Burmese poetry are its forms and styles, which is the traditional forms, and also the haiku and free verse. Some of its themes are nature, love and relationships, social and political commentary, cultural heritage. So some of the examples of their poetry is the Jataka Tales, the Tipitaka, the bloodshed in Myanmar, the Myanmar, and also the Hero of Myanmar. So one of its poetry is the the Jataka Tales. So it is a collection of stories that recount the previous stories of lives of Siddhartha Gautama. So Siddhartha Gautama is the Buddha. These tales are important part of Buddhist literature and teachings emphasizing moral lessons and the principles of karma and rebirth. They illustrate virtues such as compassion, wisdom, and self-sacrifice. So it often through engaging narratives and feature animals and humans alike. Some of its key features is the moral lessons, the rebirth theme, its diverse characters, cultural variations, and it includes also the different cultures of Asia, including Myanmar, Thailand, and Tibet. Number 2 is The Bloodshed in Myanmar. So it is written by Muhammad Yamin. It is likely refers to the ongoing violence and humanitarian crisis in Myanmar, particularly since the military coup in February 2021. So the situation has been characterized by the military's crackdown on pro-democracy protests, escalating conflicts with ethnic armed groups, and a severe humanitarian crisis impacting millions of people. So Yamin's work, it focused on this topic, would potentially explore themes such as the political turmoil, the plight of civilians, human rights abuses, and the responses from the international community. It would shed light on the complexities of Myanmar's socio-political landscape and the historical context leading to the current crisis. So number 3 is the Myanmar by John Collins. So it is a detailed examination of the country's complex political, social, and cultural landscape. Collins, an academic and researcher, has contributed to the discussions about Myanmar's history, governance, and the implication of its recent political changes, especially following the 2021 military coup. So, while specific content can vary depending on the publication, whether it's a book, an article, or report. So, this work typically covers historical context, political developments, human rights issues, social and economic conditions, international relations. So, this Collins' work serves as an important resource for understanding the intricate dynamics in Myanmar, particularly in the light of the past and present struggles of its people. So lastly is The Hero of Myanmar by Mia Tain. It's a literary work that reportedly focuses on the struggles and resilience of the Myanmar people in the context of their country's tumultuous history. Although detailed information about the book may not be widely available, it can be inferred that the book explores themes such as courage, nationalism, and the fight for democracy, particularly in the light of recent political unrest. So this haiku represents General Aung San, the father of Myanmar's independence. So this poem uses simple language, so to evoke a patriotism and respect for this general. So it represents the importance of historical figure and also the impact of this of Myanmar on national identity. So I'm going to tackle about the notable writers and poets. So number 1 is Aung Chant. He is a notable figure in Myanmar and he is often recognized for contribution in various fields, potentially including literature, advocacy, or activism. So some of his notable volumes include Cruel Music on Dead Leaves. It is in 1974 in collaboration with Maung Chau Nue and Pao Wai, and also the 12 poems, history textbooks, and the storyteller. So he aged 64 and somehow survived solely on the income from his poetry, publishing regularly in weekly journals in Rangoon, and remained prolific. So next is Kokotek. He is a well-known contemporary poet and writer from Burma. He has gained fame for his work that often reflects the social and political realities of Myanmar, especially in the context of the country's struggles with military rule, democracy, and the experiences of ordinary people. So his prose and poetry blend traditional Myanmar literary styles with modern themes addressing issues such as identity, love, and human rights. So Kokotet is part of a vibrant literary movement in Myanmar that seeks to use literature as a form of resistance and commentary in the face of oppression. In addition to his writing, he has also been involved in various cultural and social initiatives, using his platform to raise awareness about the challenges facing his country. His works have been translated into various languages, contributing to an international understanding of Myanmar's complex societal issues. So next poet is Min Tu Woon, was a prominent poet, writer, and essayist from Myanmar. He is known for his contributions to Myanmar literature in the 20th century, particularly during the post-World War II era. Min Tu Woon's writing often reflects themes of nationalism, identity, and the social issues facing Myanmar. His work is characterized by its lyrical quality and the use of traditional forms of poetry while also embracing modern elements. He was part of the literary movement that sought to express the aspirations and struggles of the Burmese people, especially during times of political turmoil. So some of his works are the Panhin Pinsi, Myanmar sa Myanmar Himno, Pien Mangokto, and his book, he explained that it is a nature of light and serious literature. He wanted to create the Burmese version of Braille for the blind. So he also helped compile Mon, Burmese and Pali, and Burmese dictionaries. So last is Ki Aye. Is a well-known poet and writer from Myanmar, recognized for her contributions for contemporary Burmese literature. So she addresses themes such as love, loss, heritage, and the complexities of life in her works. Ki Aye's poetry often reflects personal experiences and societal issues, making her a significant voice in Myanmar's literary scene. So her work is marked by a unique blend of lyrical beauty and emotional depth. It captures the nuances of human relationships and the socio-political context of Myanmar. Like many contemporary artists in the region, Ki Aye's writing may also engage with the challenges and aspirations of the Burmese people, especially in light of historical and ongoing challenges. So, Uno's concept of this essay, The Three Evils, it is important part of his vision for independence of Burma, because he believed that overcoming these three evils, the education, the poverty, and the hatred, was essential for achieving true independence, national unity, and social and economic development. Some of her poetry collections are The Moment of Apotheosis, Miss Me, The Tiresome Return, Eternal Love, I'm Unsure, and Longing, and I Am Dark.